o'clock. Our technology department says that we are good to go. So, all right. Okay, let's see. Okay, it is 7 o'clock, so I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 8th of July, 2024. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. To my right, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary. To my left, Mr. Tom Keller, who is a regular member, so all three of us will be voting. Far down is our recording secretary, Cassandra Varian. And on the other side of us is Ms. Laura Barkowski, who is the Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer for the town. So before we get to the Inland Wetlands Officer's report, I have a little Post-it note on my agenda here that says, request received to move 81 Pocono to the start of the meeting.
So it's a new business application.
Do you know anything about that?
You want me to?
Yeah, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, just your name and address.
Oh, sure, yeah, Dan Guerra, 52 Rita Drive, New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm the applicant. I have a newborn at home.
Then come on up.
Couple days old.
Come on, we'll take care of you.
Toddler
Come on up, come on
in
up, come on up.
C-section recovery.
Come on up, come on up.
Name
That's
rewind.
all. What's that?
Yeah, come on up.
Come on up. We'll take care of this. All right, let me just get the file. So if you get your name and address for
You
Cassandra.
can bring a chair if you want.
Am I sitting, or?
You can sit.
Oh,
You can sit.
You stand or sit, whatever you want to do. Is your chair there? You want to grab it?
sure.
Sure.
We're more casual here.
Sitting feels more like an interrogation.
Okay, so we just got this. So what is going on here?
Okay, so, my name is Dan, I'm the applicant.
Okay,
We're proposing a self-storage facility. This is 81 Pocono Road, which is just across the street from this
oh,
property.
yeah. We
Across
talked,
the street
we
from
talked a
where?
couple
From
months
here?
ago.
We
We
talked
talked
a
a
few
couple of months
yes.
ago, and then you withdrew it, right? And now you're back.
Yep, so
Okay.
I presented here in March,
Uh-huh,
and at the time, my civil engineer had designed a site where we disturbed about 50 square feet.
and that's
of
what you're still
wetlands.
proposing, right?
That's a typo. He must have used the same page.
Okay, I
Okay.
have,
Yeah,
let's just make sure I got the right one here.
I think you do. Dated
6/13,
6/13.
yep.
Yeah, that's a typo. So,
Okay, s-
it's 0
Zero.
square feet of disturbed wetlands.
Okay, so just for our purposes, I just made it 0.
I apologize
That's
for that.
okay.
So, yeah, at the time, we had presented our concept to this board, and.
I think it was more than a concept, it was an
It
application,
was an
but go ahead,
application,
yeah.
But the concept to disturb 50 square feet of wetlands, you folks didn't necessarily love that idea. So you encouraged me to go to the ZBA to seek a variance due to the hardship of the wetlands and push the development closer to the road. So that's why we withdrew the original
Okay.
application.
All right.
So I went ahead and I did that, and we were able to receive a variance to push the buildings 10 feet away from the wetlands, closer to Pocono Road.
So this is the map from All Seasons Land, a map from
Yeah, if you
Civil
probably go to
One?
the site plan.
But
it
this is the one we're
probably
talking about,
depicts-
right?
Yes, yep. So the site plan is probably,
That one? I don't know, this is C11.
yeah, does it say, yep, site plan, okay. So originally, so here's our wetlands delineation, right here. There's wetlands down here, but we were never, disturbing those. So really, it was along the eastern side of the property here. So the original proposal, we were disturbing 50 square feet of this wetlands right here. So this little kind of triangle in this area right there.
Okay, so this is the wetlands.
So this is your upland, your 75-foot buffer, and this is your wetlands right here.
Okay, so this one doesn't have the flag numbers on it. Does any of them have the flag numbers on
I
it?
believe there is one with the flag numbers on there.
Okay, find
That
out.
might be at the very beginning. It might have been the property map with the wetlands delineation on there.
All right, so so it's not that one.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. Oh. And I'm not seeing them real quick here. Hey. Alright, so, all right, let's go back to C1.
So one does exist, I guess they didn't include it in this drawing.
All right, so here's the wetlands, this is the red line you're saying?
Yep, so here's the wetlands, and then here's your 75-foot buffer.
Okay, so these are the wetlands.
Correct.
And it goes this way?
Goes that way, kind of right there, and then kind of jogs back down over there.
This just helps us know where we are.
Sure, yeah.
And then there's one over here?
There's one over there, yep. So here is your wetland line right there. It's kind of a funky
Okay.
shape.
It's kind of
Just
sort
to
of
the front of the
modeled.
property.
It's kind of modeled here where it says like wetlands area.
Yeah,
I
so
haven't
it's, yep,
seen that. That's why I was looking for the flags.
Right.
Because then we know for sure.
And then, so here's your 75-foot buffer.
Yeah.
So-
Upland
so
review
the-
area.
Yeah, yep. So the original proposal, we were just barely touching these wetlands here.
Mhm.
And so we withdrew that application. We went to ZBA. We were able to get a variance
Okay.
to push this whole site 10 feet closer to the road.
Okay,
Additionally, I shrunk this building here
okay.
from the original proposal of 50 feet to 45 to give us sufficient buffer for a retaining wall, construction, right? So it's not just,
Right on.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. We gave us some,
Sorry, Chris.
Chris,
I thought we were in a meeting.
Sure.
Apologize.
No,
Hi,
no
just
worries.
your name and address to
Yeah.
Cassandra, please?
Sorry about
Okay,
that. Thank you.
so what's the stormwater? Where's the stormwater for this building
sure.
going?
If you go to the, probably the next page in,
C221?
okay, so the stormwater for the site is collected through a series of inlet catch basins located throughout the site. And so these are your catch basins, these rectangles. Everything discharges to an underground detention / infiltration basin here. That's what this hatching is. And then is controlled through a controlled outlet structure and discharges down.
And this is still wetlands, right?
That's correct, yep. So it models the current hydrology of the site. So that's what we're doing. We're collecting the stormwater runoff. All that runoff currently runs to the wetlands right now. And so what Chris and the rest of the team at Civil One have done is they have modeled a stormwater management plan to mimic the existing
So who's the
conditions.
engineer that did this?
That's me.
That's you,
Sorry,
right?
I apologize. I looked at the
No,
agenda.
that's
I thought
okay.
we were
No, that's
finished,
all
so
right.
I was like, I thought I had time.
Okay.
But, yeah, so to introduce myself, I'm Chris of Civil One, a licensed professional engineer here in the state of Connecticut. Our firm is responsible for the design plans here. As Dan, I believe, already mentioned, we came before you a few months ago. And then
That's
when-
okay, you can jump to history, that's okay.
Yeah, when ZBA got the variances,
Yep, yep,
here
yep,
we are,
yep,
the
yep,
revised
yep.
plan, moved the retaining wall and the whole developments, and now we are free and clear of direct wetland impact, with everything closer to the road. We're treating all the stormwater quality on site. We have your necessary soil erosion sediment control items, silt fence, anti-tracking pad,
Does
temporary
your-
seating.
Yeah,
all that
okay,
stuff.
so tell me, do we have something that talks about how this conforms to the 2001 stormwater management?
That's how we designed it, yes. We are reducing all the peak flows.
So that's in
on
the
site.
engineering report.
That
So
is
we've got
correct.
that
Yep.
in, I said, we just got this.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
we've got
We
that,
do have
right?
the engineering report.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll get a
it's
chance
here.
to read that,
Absolutely.
okay? Cause you're discharging this about, I don't know, what is this, 20 some odd feet from the wetlands, and you've got the stormwater from the road going, are you changing this? Does that get changed from what's there today, this?
Yeah, currently outlets, we're just providing a separate means, because it would be through the buildings, so.
So just today, do you know where does it go
Believe
today,
an
do you know?
extension just leaks off
Okay,
here, so we're just essentially extending that. It eventually goes to the wetlands in the current and proposed conditions.
okay.
So I just wanna point out that all the.
Well, we might
water-
wanna think about, like I said, I think we might wanna think about some kind of a separator here for this, okay? So let's talk about that, cause this is a big, long road, I guess enormous amount of traffic. So, like I said, you're just taking the road runoff and dropping it right here, like I said, 20 feet from the wetlands. Today, it does kind of go this way,
Right.
but you're kind of directing it, so let's talk about some kind of a separator in
Yep,
here,
we'll absolutely
okay?
be able to do
Whoa,
that.
careful. So let's look at that,
Yep.
okay, for this road runoff. And then what's going on over here? Does everything
No,
Everything go this way?
So there's a small portion right here that's collected around to a hydrodynamic separator.
Okay,
So that's in this one,
all right,
and that goes out this way. But in I'd say 90% of the site is collected, and then it all travels down. So it all travels to the back here because it's
Yep.
higher by the road and lower
Yep.
by the wetlands. And there's all these catch basins that route out to this Coltech system. So some things I just want to point out quick.
sure,
All the catch basins have 4-foot deep sumps. What does that mean? It provides a higher level quality or water quality treatment before it even reaches this Coltech system, because it allows for all the sediment stuff to settle out in these catch basins. When it reaches this Coltech system, this honeycomb hatch you see
Yeah.
right here, this is called a separator row. So that row is wrapped in a special fabric that provides an additional level of water quality treatment before it even hits these chambers, and then it spreads out, it seeps into the ground. The soils that we have on site are good for infiltration, so some of the water is going to infiltrate, and only in the high storms are you going to see out the water outlet into this riprap splash pad that we have.
What is the life of that fabric?
Infinite. I mean, it
It's a
should.
minimum 100-year
Yes.
design service life.
then what happens in 100 years from now when none of us are here, you gotta pull it all out and put some,
So
something
we're gonna
new,
come
is
back
that
on.
what- Yeah, why don't you- why don't
It's
you-
the same fabric on every
Yeah.
site in
Where
Brooklyn,
you get
so.
your-
Okay,
It's very commonly used. But I just wanted to point out there are multiple means of treatment practices for
Okay.
that stormwater before it even gets to that.
and that's what we have, that's this, okay.
Okay.
Well, I did not have a chance to read all, whatever this is, 80 some odd pages.
In your free
But I
time.
will, 83?
In your free time.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll find time, but tomorrow's hot, so we may be stuck inside. And refresh my memory on this, so you're raising this and there's a retention wall that's running along the back side of this?
Just in the area where you see this like light brown here. See
Okay,
where it
so you're
says
going
top of wall and bottom of wall, so there's a 6 to 8 foot, that's
Okay.
8 foot there,
Yeah,
there's 7 foot there. So it depends on where you are, but this is the area we're proposing a wall, the rest is just slopes that grade down.
are you gonna be able to, one of the things we're gonna insist on is like a construction sequence for this, so that no one is tramping in the wetlands while this stuff is getting built.
So that's actually the beauty of kind of going and getting those variances and sliding this plan back. We now have, I believe, 12 feet at this
Okay.
point, and
Yeah.
15 feet here, so you could even get a small machine there and not touch any of the wetlands.
So is this the silt fence, this guy?
Yes, that is correct. And so
Okay.
you can see there's a pretty big row here, so someone can get on the bottom of the wall
Okay,
and
well,
install that.
All right, well,
without
we're
touching
gonna be
the
looking to
wetlands.
make sure in the construction sequence, it's documented that you're gonna let the construction manager know, and everybody's gonna be
Absolutely.
apprised of the fact that there's no temporary moving of that
Absolutely.
while they gotta do their, stuff.
So the silt fence will go in first after, you know,
Right.
and then that'll automatically provide a barrier to the wetlands.
Do you wanna know how many times I've seen guys move it?
I will ensure Dan here is very respectable. I know that he will
Well, like I
make sure
said, we're
that
gonna see
nobody
it in the
touches.
construction sequence, okay,
It's-
so
so
that's
there
the
is a-
second thing I'm gonna have you guys,
There
That's
is
your
a
second homework.
construction
Okay.
sequence on the plans.
we're
too.
gonna add to that.
You got it,
Okay.
absolutely. Happy to do so.
Yeah, no, I've seen them move it. So, refresh my memory, on this site today, existing conditions.
There was a house that was torn down in 2019, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that this business?
So the survey, the
So
house
here's the
is gone,
existing garage,
Yeah.
driveway.
but it was in this
That's
vicinity.
the one that got hit by a tree.
I believe so. There was I think there was a
Somebody got
storm,
killed.
a microburst or something like that, and a lot of the trees suffered severe damage from big
Yeah, I
storm.
think
a few
that was
years ago.
before the micro, but I remember.
So what is in this area right now? Is it grass or brambles or trees? What is in this area right now?
So in the wetland area,
No, I know, I'm not worried, in this, here's the wetlands, we did it in blue to make it easier. What is in here right now? Is this trees or brambles, or what's there
I
now?
believe it's what
I
you
don't
would
know
call brambles. So this is a Iroquois gas pipeline easement. So they come
Oh,
through,
that's
that's these two, so this is a tough site, right?
Yeah,
So they
that's
come
right.
through every couple years
Yeah.
with a skid steer mounted brush cutter, and they kind of clear out all this brush.
It's very
So there's no trees directly adjacent here. This is all.
The wetland scientist says it's a mixed thicket of early successional pioneer meadow and scrub shrub habitat.
There you go.
What is this thing?
That's the outlet for the storm system. It's in here,
Oh, it's just
but
showed
it's
up there.
underground. So on
Okay.
this plan, it's showing it's
Okay.
just a shaded hatch for
Oh,
a
you're right,
lawn.
okay, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But we didn't want to show the outlet, like where that was, because you can't plant anything there. So
Right, you can't plant anything there, right. And what's this?
temporary soil stockpile. So there's a few scattered throughout the site.
Okay,
So when they strip the topsoil, they'll pile it up and put silt fence around that. So this spot will actually have 2 rows of silt fence, the one that's there naturally, not naturally, but in the beginning of construction, and then also during construction. And these are, it doesn't have to be here, we can move this to wherever, it's a construction item now. They need to strip the site and pile up the soils to use later.
Looks far enough away, to me.
yeah, I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no worries.
Bob, so I,
We try to keep them out of the regulated areas, so.
well, it's in the regulated area, it's 70, I don't know,
It's
75
that one,
feet.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go, right. And their easement is this line, right?
That's correct.
That is correct. It's 50 foot.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking the, you know, taking a different look, you
Sure,
know,
yeah,
at,
yeah,
at the wetlands. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah, we understand. We don't want to disturb the wetlands themselves,
Right.
If at all possible, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I
Doing
was
that.
debating, like I said, what's, you know, it's brambles and stuff like that. You know, sometimes, like I said, we try and, well, we get this stuff in here to see if there's anything we can do to maybe sort of improve, improve things just a tiny, tiny
Mhm.
little bit. But I don't know if I know what that answer is right now, because I've got this to deal with, right?
Yeah, you don't have that much room where you can do
Yeah,
Yeah,
not gonna
stuff.
move
I
that.
got this to deal with.
I will say on the landscape plan, we are trying to add where we can. Apologize. We are adding. So we do have some big trees going in here.
That's what I was gonna ask, if you could, I was thinking if you had room for some
Absolutely.
trees here, right?
So they're kind of in different locations just because, we can't put them right here on top of the system, so they're kind of
Right.
slid down as much as we can. We got some more in here.
Okay.
They're in here all along this back area because we haven't gotten some more room. So wherever we can, we pushed in some nice sized trees, so.
Well, that's great, because I said all the wetlands are gonna, value, or are gonna benefit from shade, as
Absolutely.
weather warms.
Another thing too, the next plan is a lighting plan. There's no light emitted into the wetlands. So all the
Yeah.
foot candles are zero. in the
Yeah, and I think they
wetlands.
got you doing all the
Oh, yeah,
downlighting
they're
and
all dark
stuff like
sky
that,
LED
so,
compliant
yes, those are
nowadays,
really
so.
nice. Okay.
I don't see any
Yeah, it's,
big issues.
no, I don't either. See what you can do, like I said, update that construction sequence to make
Absolutely.
sure, the construction manager will advise his guys, do not move that silt fence under any circumstances. Yeah.
I'll just add that there'll be a silt fence inspection, so I can go out there right as soon as the initial EMS controls are set up. That way
Uh-huh.
I know where it's gonna be marked
Well,
out, so I have,
Well, you're gonna do that normally,
I would
that's,
normally do that, but we can add it into the construction sequence
Yeah.
just to make sure that we know that there's a telephone call. Fortunately or unfortunately for them, in this particular site, I do drive by it daily.
yeah.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, well, again, by the time they
Not
get to
hiding
this,
it.
you may or
Nowhere
may
to
not,
hide.
and by the time you see it, there'll be
I know.
footprints and,
So,
Yeah,
I-
we'll work something into the construction.
Yeah,
sequence,
and
maybe
see-
even an additional type of fence or something like that.
or, yeah, something, and
right,
then
like, you
something
know.
like, because you're sitting right there, that these skid steers, they are notorious for leaks. That none of that stuff
Yeah.
is gonna be,
You know what we could do in some
Parked
areas where
there.
it's like tight right here, we could
Yeah.
do some hay bale backing.
Mhm.
If you're open
Yeah.
to that, like we see we're in here where it's really tight, we'll put there's the hay bale backing that we do in a lot of job sites. We'll put it right behind there. just add another layer there.
Yeah.
And those are good too for the skid steers you're talking about, you know, they'll hit against them.
Yeah, right,
bumper,
Just
exactly.
as another item there.
Like I said, so add that to they won't be parked there, you know, they'll be parked someplace
Right.
else.
And then we'll just deal with this right here.
Take a look at that,
Yeah.
right? Take a look
Yeah.
at that. Like I said, cause that, you know, that makes things a little, you got trees and that's terrific,
Mhm.
right? And that can make things a little better. So take a look at
Okay,
that, if
sure.
you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know about spill containment, Laura, you know, for, like I said, having these skid steers in there, I don't,
Is there,
So
well,
we-
you're not gonna store them there?
well, we're gonna let them store them there.
So another thing that we
Yeah.
can do is we'll designate, a parking spot for all equipment.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
do that in
and-
a lot of spots.
Yeah,
So-
or
and
maybe it
also
gets
keep that-
inspected daily, right? Somebody's gonna inspect them daily to make sure they're not
On weekends.
leaking. What's that?
We'll put them right out and outside of the upland review area too. Put it right out in front here.
That's
So-
good, yeah, can't go
Closer to
further
the road.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as
and-
far as
Can
I
we
can.
designate that
Right.
area on,
Absolutely.
plans?
Yeah, and a daily inspection, right?
Yeah, just
Because
to
this
make
is,
sure
how long
there's
will,
no-
how long will this take to build? A week and a half or something like that? A week?
Yeah, if that's not gonna take too long.
Okay.
That'll be the first thing, you know, they'll
First
start
step.
and then filling up from there, so your disturbance is, you're gonna, you know, clear the site, you're gonna set your erosion control measures, and then you're gonna start and work your way up, because there's a fill condition on this site, so, to
Okay.
get it level.
All right, well,
So
again,
that wall will be up, and from there, we'll be moving away from the well, is what I'm trying to say,
okay.
so.
All right, so there's another addition to the construction sequence or the plan. Here's where you're gonna store them. They won't be stored in this, you know, they won't be stored within 75 feet of any wetlands, you know, during the construction. And there will be, you know, daily inspections reported to the construction manager about, the vehicles will be inspected for leaks, you know, every morning and night, right, for that week and a half. Again, see what you can do there. I
Sure.
can't think of anything else. Again, appreciate the trees, appreciate the variance.
Yeah, we just wanna be respectful and, timely to the request.
Yeah, well,
so.
I said, we all live here, you know, and everybody's saying, you know, clean water is, going to be a valuable, hard-to-come-by commodity by all accounts. And this one's interesting, because a lot of it got screwed up, you know, when the railroad went in. So you should see the other side of the railroad, it's like, ah! So this is water that's underneath this railroad, you should see what's on the other side, it's a
Yeah.
big, and if we tramp back, there was a big, big,
Yeah, there's
huge
a,
wet.
I think that's what this easement is right here. So there's like a bridge that goes under the railroad.
Yeah,
There's like something weird.
there's something
it's like
weird.
a culvert
Yeah,
almost
there's
that
something
goes-
weird there.
Yeah.
There's something.
It's a tough site.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is. Like I said, we should see
Definitely.
what's on the other side. Oh my God, it's a beautiful wetland. It's beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, that's all I can think of, gentlemen.
Okay. In terms of logistics, do we make these revisions to our plans and then submit them?
Yes.
Back.
Yep.
Before the next wetlands meeting? Is that how it
Yes.
works? Okay.
Yep.
Is that going for a regular meeting next?
Yeah, the next regular meeting is 2 weeks from tonight. I
Okay.
think it's the 20 and
So
whatever it is.
When would you need, when?
Probably if we, so the Wednesday before the meeting
Wednesday
was the
before the
latest.
meeting?
22nd,
There's not
22nd.
too many revisions, so I
No,
don't
it doesn't
anticipate.
sound, yeah.
The items that I have just to run through quickly is, add the hydrant, that's separator to the street drain line.
Yep.
The, hay bales with the wetlands are a little bit tight behind the silt fence. Equipment parking area, at least 75 feet. Add more inspections to the construction sequence. And, ensure that the construction sequence has a provision that the equipment has to be inspected for leaks daily.
Right.
So everything else.
And the
Parked up front.
Parked
The
up
equipment
front.
got parked up front.
Park, yep.
yeah. Okay, and where, I'm looking at, this is yours, right?
Yep.
So where are you, I mean, I believe you that this is all adhering to the Connecticut Stormwater Management. Where are you?
Recommendation recommendations in
Okay, there we go, that's what I wanted to see,
Yep,
yeah.
so our quality manual. We should mention it a couple other times.
So the storm
too.
management gets your cases. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else for us?
No, I appreciate
That's okay, we take
the
care of,
revision to the agenda.
little ones are very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you talking, I was like,
Little ones are important.
2.5 days old, so.
Wow.
Brand new.
All right, well,
Thank you,
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, then I'll make a motion that we continue 81 Pocono Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll
So,
second that.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, well, in deference to everyone else,
Take care.
since we took care of these guys, we're gonna jump through active sites and enforcement. We're gonna go right to old business. I said in deference to everyone here, okay? So, if everyone's okay, I'll make a motion to go to agenda item
A1?
4A.
4A. I'm thinking 4A.
Oh, okay.
Second?
Second.
Tom seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right. Anybody here for 499? We were waiting for them to tell us about that swale.
So, I do know, if I could speak to,
do.
so the last two things that we were waiting for at the last meeting is we asked for calculations on the low depression sites.
Yeah,
And the planting bond estimate, both things have been provided in an update, it's in the old business file itself, not the enforcement file, if that makes. And they were provided, there's a big red line area that discusses the calculations, it's both on the plan itself and an updated just list on the plantings.
okay, so there's the bond. So the plantings are 8,000.
And then it's in the red highlighted area on the plan, for the calculations, it's kind of a.
Do you know, the drainage calculations, rainfall for it's a 25-year event, 24-hour period, 7 inches, wow. Wow. 6-inch of rainfall over existing driveway area, area of the drainage, 2,300 national. Did you get a chance to look at this? It seems right, it seems okay.
It seems okay, I am not an engineer.
I'm not
so
either.
I don't
So
know.
who did that?
I believe the landscape architect did it.
Well-
I think he went more on the, I think he did larger rather than smaller in an effort to be on the safe side, to be perfectly.
Well, I think that's good considering I
Yes.
said it was 4 inches of rain in about 3 hours.
Which is, we've been getting some
Unbelievable.
interesting storms.
So so they're still having multiple areas, which I guess is all right. Except doesn't it zip through in the middle? That's what I was always puzzled by. Why do they have multiple areas?
I guess it's better than, there is currently nothing.
Well, I would have thought one long one would have been better.
Made more sense. I thought that they were going to do one long one on the original plan, but they ended up doing multiple.
Well, we could stipulate that too,
If you
right?
wanna create a long one.
Yeah, we could say something within 30 days, the commission, and I'm interested in your opinion. I don't understand why there's 3. There's one here,
Oh, one there, there's-
here, and here. I don't know why they're not interconnected. I mean, doesn't the water go whoop, like that? Or am I missing something?
You're only gonna lose so much probably through those non-interconnected areas. I mean, that should catch the bulk of it, I'd imagine.
I'm sure it will, but if it just went from here to there, then we would catch all of it, right? I mean, I can see, it looks like he's got some differences in depth.
Might be a reason for that.
Well, that's what we asked them to
Yeah, I
explain to
agree.
us, and we didn't, that I can see, I didn't get that.
I was under the, I haven't spoken with this applicant since before I went
Yeah,
away, so I do apologize
5th,
Updated
received June
plans.
17th.
So why not just ask them again? Why they aren't going to continuous?
Well, here's what we could do, right, in the interest of pushing this along.
They've
We
got
could-
plants right in each.
What's that?
Just stipulate it. add it
We
in.
could stipulate it, you know, and if they disagree, please advise us why. We could do something like that, just to push this one along. You know, we could put in the motion, right, we've approved the plan with all the usual
Subject to-
stipulations and a second stipulation that these drainage swells, you know, be continuous unless the applicant provides
Data
data suggesting
differently.
differently.
Right.
We could do something like that, right? To push it along.
I'm wondering if they don't have a continuous because they have plantings right in between each one.
Well, I don't see that, piles and logs. I don't see where these are the trees? So what do you think, Lori? You think these are the trees? You think these little dots these are the trees they're gonna plant, right?
That's what I thought from a prior.
These are the ones they're
map,
gonna
These are the
yeah.
plant.
ones that are gonna be planted for the
Yeah.
remediation
So-
purposes.
Right, so I don't see
So
any, oh, what's
what-
this?
Yeah,
This
you've
is-
got one at the
Oh.
end
Yes.
and one in each.
Okay.
Oh, so they're
So
gonna put
he's
a tree.
planting, yep.
I guess
They're-
that's
they're
all
gonna
right,
put
then
a
the water go
planting
right
in each
over, right over the tree.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Tom. I kept thinking, what?
Sorry, I didn't look at that. I
Okay.
didn't have a copy.
All right,
Yeah, we leave it the way it is.
we'll leave it the way it is,
Yeah.
and set the bond at $8,000. And that the plantings need to be done, by November 15th?
That sounds
Right.
reasonable.
By November, the plantings need to be done by November 15th, and the violation will stay in effect until that time, until they're planted. And then we'll have, the bond will be for 3 years,
And what is the bond amount?
8,000.
Okay.
And there will be, annual reports beginning at the 12-month after planting, the 24-month after planting, and the 36th month after planting.
Okay.
And there will be 80% survival rate, right?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Oh, you put it over there, no wonder I couldn't find it.
I was trying to be helpful.
And Bob's got it, so, hey. All right, now I lost my pen, there we go. All right, you want me to do this motion?
Go ahead.
All right, I'll make you wanna try it, Tom?
I'll let you get this one. You had a lot added into
Okay.
it.
All right, I'll make a motion that the matter of the application W-24-23, 499 Federal Road, for an application to resolve a violation, to approve a map by Robert Sherwood with an original date of 4/15/24 and a last revision date of 6/12/24, to approve this plan with, number one, all the usual stipulations, to set a bond for $8,000 for the plantings to be complete by November 15th, for reporting on their survivability to be provided in a report to the Wetlands Commission on the 12-month anniversary of their planting, the 24-month anniversary of their planting, and the 36th month after their planting, with a survival rate of 80% in order to return the bond. I'm missing one.
Did you say an 80% survival?
80% survival rate, yeah.
I think that's it.
Thought there was one other thing, and I'm drawing a blank myself.
I got the bond, I got the planting date, we got the stipulations, all the usual ones. We got the planting date. Do you think, is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Okay, so that's the motion.
I second it.
All right, any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Oh, there was one. Motion carries unanimous. So I'll make a motion to amend that motion that the violation will remain in effect until the initial plantings are complete.
Okay, second, yeah.
Yeah, so Tom seconds the
Second.
amendment. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. All right, what is today, the 8th?
And that's why I let you do that one. Because
I
I knew I'd
kept-
forget one.
Well, I kept thinking, there was something else. Okey dokey. All right, so now that is old business. So now we've got new business. I got 23 Grace Bridge Road. Somebody here for that? What do you, I'm sorry, sir, you're here for 58, sir, you guys? Oh, you guys are all the, okay. Oh, okay,
And active sites.
all right. Well, I didn't do that very well then. Okay, well, all right, so let me correct my whatever. So let's go back to enforcement. So let's go back to enforcement. Hang on a second. Yeah. I didn't realize these guys were all for enforcement. That's on me. Okay. All right, well, let's jump then to, make a motion, let's go to enforcement, B1, 35 Merwin Brook Road. Tom seconds my motion. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. All right, we got an email from the property owner. All right? I think we saw that. So we're still in the process of getting a building permit. They say I have no way to, I have no way to water the plants I've already paid for. It's in my best interest to build a home ASAP. I've gotten through all the departments, had a meeting with the building inspector, which is the last step, as you know. So I don't understand why the plants didn't get planted. I mean, this was the last moment, was the June 30th, was the last day. I mean, they could have been planted much earlier than this.
May not have been able to get them.
What's that?
May not have been able to get them.
He doesn't say that. He
No, I know
ordered
that.
them, he ordered them.
The reason why he's citing based off of the letter is that there's no water on the site, that he has not been able to put in as well. The building permit actually did just get approved, and I don't know, I was out there today. Before I left 2 weeks ago, there
Uh-huh.
was no action on the site. Now there is finally some movement on the site. Until he got his building permit approved, he couldn't have gone any forward. But that is what he is saying, that the reason why he didn't plant them is because he has no water. And he doesn't want to plant them for them to die, for an inability to water them.
Okay, well, I'm still, I mean, he didn't answer your question which is, what's your plan?
I believe he is moving forward now, with his building permit, and he has cleared a portion of the site, which was previously cleared. I don't know how often you've been up there, invasive, it pretty much was.
Yeah, right.
and
It's
now
been
it
2
is-
years, yeah.
Yeah, now it has cleared the building envelope only again.
Okay,
That is as of today. So, that is the information that I have. I can certainly reach out to him again and ask him for an anticipated date that the plantings will go in. I don't know what his sequence is as far as putting in his well.
He could put in his well first.
We could certainly.
Put the
I
wood in
can
found, sure.
request that.
If he
Now
got a
that his
building
buil-
permit.
Now that his building permit
Right,
is.
because he's got to have the
before
septic and
that-
the separation.
this to me seems like delay. I have to tell you, this seems like delay. We didn't hear a thing from this gentleman until you sent him an email. There was nothing from him to be proactive,
Communication.
right? Communication to say, look, I did order the plants, but I have no way to water them. Can I get,
An extension.
an extension? I mean, we were very clear. I mean, this was a big challenge to even reach this individual and get to this point.
It could be he's concerned about doing anything on the property without getting the okay. for
Well, I
fear it's
know
gonna
that. Now,
be-
you were not here.
Correct.
When this process started. I
Correct.
mean, this gentleman was very difficult to get a hold of.
Absolutely.
And the first couple of times, it wasn't clear that he understood the gravity of what he had done.
I can't speak to
I know, 'cause you weren't here either.
I do, all I can say is I do get a response.
And
from
we
the
said if
planning
they weren't in by the end of June, we were gonna start
citations.
citations. So that's what I wanna do. I wanna start a citation. This is waiting to the very last minute. I still don't know when this is gonna happen. He's got his building permit. He's not gonna get a CO until this is in.
He is aware of that.
And that's, I wanna know, we're gonna have citations, and it's gonna be till he tells me when these things are gonna get in. That's my opinion. I mean, this is just,
Excuse.
you know, if people work with us, that's one thing. You know, and there's a lot of people in this audience that are trying to do the right thing. I don't see that here.
I mean, it's certainly up to the commission. I know previous to me being here, there was a lot of difficulty to get a hold of the individual.
Correct.
And then to get a plan.
And to get a plan and to get it finally approved, all I
And
can
we
say is I
told-
do get a response. but
And
did tell-
we did tell him, right, I mean, we said, look, we're ordering a lot of plants. We said, look, get this done. Get the order in, get it done. We're gonna give you till the end of June.
I do know that the order is in.
I know
the
it
plans
is.
are on hold.
I'm not yelling at you.
I know, thank you though.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm not
appreciate
yelling
the
at you. I'm not,
clarification.
no, I'm just, this is a delay. And he's not even telling me, he's not even thinking that he's saying, oh, look, I realize I'm behind, and I didn't get the well in, and other things happened, and he's not even telling you when he's gonna do it in this email reply.
I believe, I did speak with him on the telephone.
Yeah.
And I did ask him to put it in writing. What he told me verbally, based off of what is written, is generally the same, but he gave me a lot more detail, via the telephone. That it was held up in the building department. I do know the individual did have a meeting with our building official.
Yeah.
A couple weeks before he actually ended up getting the building permit released. So I do know that there truly was a holdup on the building permit side of it. I cannot speak to what it was. All I know is building held it and had a meeting with them, with our
Yeah.
building inspector. He had called me.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get you upset, so
Oh,
I
no,
don't,
I
I don't want you to
totally
be
understand.
upset.
But he had called me twice, before he finally got a hold of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in and out, as you know,
Of
on
course.
inspections, everything all day.
Of course.
And I did ask for something follow-up in writing, because I always like to bring something to the commission.
Sure,
of
it's
what
the
he-
8th of June, it's
Yes.
July already, and I don't have anything.
And that is what was written.
Sure.
He verbally communicated that the holdup is for the well, that he hasn't been able to get his well in, that the the building permit got held up. But if, it's up to the commission on whether or not we wanted to go forward with citations, or if we want him to appear at the next meeting, or if we want.
I'm thinking citations until these plants get in. I mean, if he didn't get the well in March, if we was having trouble with it, tell me. If he didn't get the well in April, tell me. Don't, May, tell me. He knows the deadline's looming. I should not talking to you, I should be talking to you, and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I not doing that?
He does say he will start the process as soon as he gets the building, the permit, which he's gotten, so.
It's his building permit,
Right.
not the planting. I don't read anything in this email about a planting.
I'm thinking he was fearful of putting the well in to get the plants watered. I mean, if he knew how much rain we were gonna get, he probably wouldn't worry about that, but
Okay.
I
I said, I'm gonna make a
I'm playing
motion to
devil's
issue a
advocate.
citation at 35 Merwin Brook Road until these plantings are put in for lack of compliance with the imposed deadline. Is that enough?
Yep, I would say so.
The amount.
$100 a day. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Sorry, I should have been talking to you, not Laurel.
I was listening to you.
Good. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. And I do that with great regret, because all that was necessary was some conversation
Communication.
and communication.
Yeah.
Okay, 11 Crossroad? You're 3. 3. Oh, 3, sorry. And you are
2A Crossroad.
2A and
84 Laura Hill.
84. Okay, so we're gonna go to 11 Crossroad. 11A Crossroad.
2A?
11A.
11A?
We have several.
We have a lot of crossroads.
Several crossroads.
Or you're 2A.
They're the last,
Oh, my
They're
goodness.
4, 5, and
All
then
right,
7.
All right, so let's try and be respectful here. So let's go to agenda item B4, and then we're gonna go back to 2A Crossroad. That's you. Okay. Bear with me, we got too many crossroads here.
Are we doing a motion for it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we go to agenda item 2A Crossroad.
Second.
Tom seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Okay, let me get the folder here. Your name and address to Cassandra, please?
Fabio Figueredo, 2A Crossroad.
2A Crossroad.
I can spell that out if you need it.
Nice.
Fabio.
Nice.
And it's
Nice.
FIGUE.
All right. All right. All right, guys and gentlemen.
EDO.
All right. And gentlemen, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be
Yeah.
flexible and get everybody out of here, so as best that I can. Okay, so you've got the wetlands
Yeah.
map here. What did we end up with that? Let me see what we got here. Is it in here? Must be it. Ah, here we go. Yep. Okay, so this is your home, right? And where is Jim's flagging of the wetlands? What map is that on? Is that here? Is that this map? Or where's
I
Jim's
believe the red
flag?
line is the approximate location of the flags.
Is that right? This is pointing to a
Oh,
blue
blue line,
line.
pardon me.
Yeah. So the blue line is wetlands? Oh.
See, because they knew you used a blue marker for it.
Yeah. So we'll go with. All right, so what is Jim saying here? There, an absent of City, Connecticut, all site soil types undisturbed. Study of the handheld auger and spade, 2 is 4. It was determined that there are no poorly or very poorly drained soils or regulated watercourses were identified. There is an off-site regulated wetland that is adjacent to the western property line. The delineated wetlands comes within 5 to 10 feet of the boundary and approximately 20 feet at its closest point. So, so this is the wetland that Jim, and I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
Mr. Fabiano, right?
Fabio.
Fabio, sorry. So this is the wetland that Jim found off your property,
Uh-huh.
because your property is the orange line here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the activity happened here?
Yeah, like on this little.
So this has been a while. Refresh my memory as to what happened here. You cut down some trees, right?
Yeah, I cut down, like, there was 5 trees. One of them was a pretty large one that was, like, snapped in half.
Okay.
That was hanging onto a tree. That's how it started the whole thing.
Yep.
So I wanted to, like, clean it up, but I didn't know I was supposed to go through this.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, everything on your property that
that
is
comes within.
75 feet. So you've got an area, I'm just gonna dot this,
Mhm.
you know, this is not to scale, right? But something in this area, 75 feet. 75 feet, that's not quite right, but it's gonna be most of this wooded area.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, I don't have a ruler here, but 75 is probably gonna take you into your yard. So all of this, anything that you wanna do in that area requires a wetlands permit, okay? So, let's just refresh my memory here. Because now what we wanna do is we wanna do a little restoration in that area. So did you get a chance to talk to Jim, or do you have some ideas as to what you would like to do in terms of some planting in that area? Did you and Jim talk about that, or?
No, he didn't. I told him that we weren't going to need a planting plan,
Yeah,
and I think I already gave him the deposit, but I don't know how it goes. Does it like, do you tell me what I gotta plant? Or I
is
can
Jim gonna,
choose what I-
have you contracted with Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll see, let's see
Yeah.
what Jim tells
He'll
us.
tell
Okay.
us.
He'll tell us,
Oh, okay.
Jim will tell us, cause we probably want a wetland soil scientist to review it anyways, so you.
He's not the wetland?
He is,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
he is, so that's what, you've gone to step 4 already, which is good.
Okay.
All right, and so you're gonna have a Connecticut wetland soil scientist give you a proposal to
Jim.
remediate the
Right.
work that was done in the upland review.
Plan.
A planting plan, yeah, the planting plan.
You gave me a price on that. Right?
Yep,
I gave
he'll
him the
give you a
deposit.
planting plan.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're gonna get that.
Okay.
You're gonna get that to us.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna take the list of the plants that he's suggesting and get a rough estimate of their cost.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to get an invoice from anybody, but just get a rough estimate. We'll take a look at it for you. Then when you come back, we'll take a look at what Jim is recommending. We will have the amount for a bond,
Okay.
which we'll set, because we wanna get these planted, and then we wanna ensure that they survive at the 80% survival rate,
Mhm.
and we'll be good to go,
Okay.
okay?
And then do I have to keep coming until
Nope.
like the?
Nope,
it's just-
all you're gonna do, once we approve it, right, and I'm assuming it's probably gonna be a handful of trees and bushes-ish, that's what I'm guessing, based on the site size. All we're gonna ask for is, when you plant them, which I assume will be in the fall, you wouldn't wanna plant them in August.
Yeah.
That's a tough time, you might wanna wait till like October. Is that you're gonna just, 12 months after you plant them, and 24 months after you plant them, and 36 months after you plant them on their anniversary, you're gonna send us an email and let us know how they're doing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, how do you, just
Just-
photos and?
Yeah, no, you can just write us a letter,
Okay.
okay, because at the end of 3 years, we're gonna go out,
Mhm.
and we're gonna count them.
Okay.
And then if 80% of the ones that are planted are still surviving, you'll get your bond back,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
Does that sound?
Pretty easy, huh?
Could I
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
Can we get a date for when he's gonna submit the remediation application, because I don't have an application yet for him, it's just a violation.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, when you get the proposal from Jim,
Mhm.
okay, he's gonna write up something, then, step 4A, 5A is to submit an application. So we'll
Okay.
get an application, you'll have a supporting document that says, here's what the Connecticut Wetlands Soil Scientist is recommending. You say, I have an estimate for what these plantings are going to cost. We have an application, we know what you're gonna do, we know what the cost is. It'll show up on a meeting here as new business.
Okay.
We'll take a look at it, we'll talk about it, and if we approve it, you're good to go.
Okay.
All right, then we go to step 6, which is the annual
So it's an
reports.
annual report.
Right, to make
Got
sure
it.
they're
Perfect. All right,
successful.
I'll email him tomorrow to follow up. Cause I guess he didn't wanna do the plan yet, cause he said there was a chance that we weren't gonna need one. But when I talked to Laura, she told me I definitely needed one.
We definitely need a plan. We
Yeah.
definitely need a plan, and that plan,
Yeah.
I mean, you can, for what you're doing here, it's gonna work. You can just put, just put some dots on it. I
Mhm.
said, that's what I'm guessing. It's gonna be a handful of trees and a couple of bushes. Handful, maybe 5, 6, 7-ish things. Just write them down what they're gonna be, whether it's oak or maple or spice
Just get an
bush or
estimate from
whatever,
nursery
right?
or something, and
What's that?
Get an estimate from like a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
run her over to any nursery and say, this is what I'm gonna need about, what does this look like about, and
Mhm.
cost. That will be the bond amount, that'll tell us
Okay.
what the bond amount is going to be, so the next time and so we'll have an application, we'll have the plan from Jim, documented on
Mhm.
this, okay, we'll have a list of the
of
plants, and we'll have the cost.
And the application is get it online when I.
The application's online.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Sounds good.
All right, so next step, you get something from Jim, go to the nursery, get an
Uh-huh.
estimate, do the online application, that'll ask for the supporting documents, the plan and the estimate. You'll get on the agenda as new business, we'll talk about it,
Okay,
and then we'll be good to go,
sounds good.
all right?
Pretty easy, huh?
Easiest part of my.
Yeah, I told you, I said it's a multi-step process, but it's good to know, like I said, where the wetlands are on this property.
Yes.
You know, for you, I said going forward, so, again, that's probably, one of the reasons that your yard is like it is, because of this wetland. They tried to protect this wetland with shade, for the animals that live in the wetlands. Some of them need dry space, like toads and frogs and salamanders and things like that. They do get out of the water and they need a little bit of space here. So that's very likely why why the trees are back here in your yard.
Okay,
Okay, but now you know.
now I know.
Now you know. And you'll be the hit of the next barbecue. You say, I know all about wetlands. Okay, any questions?
Yeah,
Okay, call the,
good?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
all right, thanks, guys. All right, I'll make a motion to continue to no, we don't have to continue that, it's not an application, so. So that's that. 84 Laurel Hill Road.
I know how to spell it now.
Again, apologies, I'm trying to be sensitive to everybody and, again, we're trying to treat, because you guys, there's a couple of applications here or violations that are all the same. So I'm trying, the three of us are trying to be consistent, with everything that we're doing. So, did you get his name and address?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it by heart.
All right, so how are we doing?
Oh, I mean, we're going,
Good. So what's new?
you should get this paper.
Yep, I got this, yep. We got this too, it doesn't have a receipt date on it, but. Okay. Okay, so where did Jim tell you the wetlands are? Is it that this blue line?
Yeah, that's
Okay, all righty, good, all right. So this is the blue line, and this is the area where you took down the trees, right?
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
That's it.
all right, so did you talk to Jim, or do you have some ideas as to what you wanna do for your
So
property here?
So I have it's where exactly I mark it out,
Yep,
and that's where the 75 feet are.
yep,
And then, this is the plants that I would like to put it on.
okay, so how many are you thinking?
I mean, I can put as many you like to have it.
How
I
many-
mean, I took it down 6 for big ones
Oh, okay.
and 2 small ones. So, as you suggested, we'll do it.
Okay. Let's refresh my memory. This is great, again, I repeat myself, now you know where the wetlands
Oh, yeah,
are on
no,
your
no,
property,
definitely, no.
so that's a big bonus.
I agree.
How many,
Oh, by the way, my cat died.
oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
From what?
This road is too quick. And
Oh,
Got hit?
no,
Yeah.
oh, I am so sorry.
Nobody stop and say anything to us. They just.
Kept going.
Oh, my God, I
Sadly,
am
that
so,
doesn't
and you got a
surprise
little
me.
one, right?
And I have my daughter, yeah, and the dog. Now I just have my dog and my kid.
I'm so
Yeah,
very
but, I mean, I
sorry.
wish I mean, I was just probably thinking the guys they just move in and
Yeah,
this neighborhood here and the other neighborhood there, and other than that, they're pretty grown ups. That's what my daughter says. But they're like young, they're kids, and they're playing around. So I mean, this road is 30 miles per hour.
yeah,
So we'll
nobody
probably-
goes 30 on Laurel Hill,
Yeah,
nobody.
That's too bad.
I am so sorry.
yeah,
That's heartbreaking.
it is.
Yeah,
My fiance was.
Your kids.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I mean, she still calls here.
Sure,
Yeah,
of course she will.
yeah. So
Oh,
we're trying to.
thank you for telling us.
No
I
problem.
appreciate that.
No problem.
And then you had to find the poor little guy. So I can't remember, I mean, in general, we wanna talk about putting the trees back that you took down.
Yes.
That's what we wanna talk about, and I don't remember Oh, right now I remember.
This
Oh,
one is a tricky one because it was the logs more than the actual stumps, right? Cause you're
Yeah,
back,
Yeah.
I mean, because
I-
they storage from the years,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm just from November there.
so I don't remember, Lord.
I don't think we actually have a true count on this one, because we saw the evidence of the logs,
Yep.
and I don't, and since then, I believe the brush had grown back, so I don't think we have actual counting
Oh.
of stumps on it.
Well, let me ask you, how many trees do you think you cut down?
That's what I said, six.
Six.
Oh, 6. Oh, I thought that was what, oh, okay.
No, he was saying that's what he cut.
Ah, sorry, I misheard.
No problem.
5
Big into months.
All right, well, we have a big mess back here of trees down. I mean, some of that can, if it was in the wetlands, we would definitely keep those there.
The way that that property is, I don't know if you've gone back there.
It
So-
it dips down.
It dips down, it slopes down, it's not exactly in the wetlands where the logs are, but it's on the border of the wetlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
They're basically just fall down like here. They're just not in there. They're just fell like this.
Yeah, the wetlands barely touch the
Yes,
property.
Yes. They're not on the wetlands. And I was assuming because my neighbor, he has a pine trees
Yeah.
there, so I was trying to follow that, and eventually, like I said, I was going to plant trees right like he did on the proper line, you know, because like I said, they were horrible with the big pines or poison, I don't know. And what I would like to put is just trees like here, if it's possible.
Some kind of row of evergreens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna talk about more than just we're gonna talk about more than trees right on this wetlands line. We're gonna talk about some trees that are probably like 20 feet in. In this upland review area, we're gonna have some plantings in this upland review area, probably in the neighborhood of from here to say 30 feet, okay? So we're gonna put trees in this area. What I'm not sure I know the answer to is do you wanna drag all this stuff out of here? Do you wanna spend the money to take this stuff out?
I mean, I don't mind.
Well, what do you
What
wanna
do
do?
you wanna do? What would you
I mean,
prefer to do?
I mean, I would like to, clear it out.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I would like to clear it out. If you guys let me, I mean, that would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice, right?
Right.
okay, well, one of the other things we're gonna talk about too is probably putting a line of disturbance and having your yard end, that these trees that we're gonna put in here, your grass is gonna end kind of in this area, like 20 feet from your property line.
Okay.
So we're not gonna be talking about grass all the way to your property line, all the way to the wetlands.
Okay.
Okay, because we don't have that today.
Okay.
So you've got grass that comes to here,
Yeah, that's it.
so we're gonna talk about, like I said, probably a 30-foot area from this wetland line that's going to be a mix of trees and no grass. Okay,
Okay.
because we wanna keep the grass from growing into the wetlands, and we wanna try and reintroduce the shade that this wetlands had with these trees before they were cut down.
Okay.
So that's the concept here.
No, no, no.
And I guess if you wanna pull these out, I guess that's okay. Yeah, if you wanna take this stuff out, so we're gonna let you pull this out. Let's talk about, and this is to scale. And you said you took down 10-ish?
6. 4 and 2.
6, all right.
And yeah, either way, I can't do anything here because my leaching fields are here.
Yeah, well, okay, well, we obviously not gonna stay away from those, but like I said, if that, you've gotta move this 30 feet a little bit for the leaching field, I get that. You know, and you wouldn't want a tree within, I don't know, 10 feet of the leaching field, 20.
Well, you gotta worry about the roots.
You gotta worry about
Yeah.
the roots, so, mark
we
on
do-
your plan where that leaching field is.
It's really.
Okay, well, cause now
Yep,
you gotta
that'll
go
work.
through this
Yep,
application
that'll work.
process, we're gonna update this, now we know where the wetlands is, so step 4
Okay.
is mark where your leaching field is, get a pencil and write on that.
Sure.
Let's talk about, again, I think we're gonna let you clear this.
Okay.
I think we're gonna talk about probably planting,
This one, it was the
yeah,
name of the trees that I mean, If you agree, I can put it.
Yeah, I don't, the service berry is that's a bush. Willows, weeping willows, that is a nuisance tree.
Yeah, especially if your leaching fields are right
Particularly if you
there.
got a leaching field,
Okay.
that is
You
a.
wanna keep them away from your
that-
fields.
Yeah, that is not a, that's not a tree you want.
You want that nowhere near your fields.
Nowhere near. It's a messy thing. It's very messy. I
Okay.
think we want to talk about white oaks. I think the swamp oak requires wet feet. It has to be in wetlands.
Oh, okay.
So it's not gonna survive in these dry areas, but you can get, there's red maples, white oaks, sugar maples.
Okay.
So let's talk about, re- 6 trees, okay? And then to make it nice, you know, let's do like 6 bushes, whether service berries or clethra or something, you know, to make it look pretty back here.
Sure.
You know, so you'll have something nice to look at. I think we are gonna let you take that stuff out, so.
Do you wanna go with 6 in there, being he's putting a buffer row of evergreens on the edge?
I don't,
If he,
You
I mean, if
really-
he took down 6 total and he's putting in the buffer of evergreens, you might not need quite 6 to.
well, I
Make
don't,
up for it.
if he's taken down 6, I don't think we can, I don't think it's,
I'm not saying go less than
Yeah.
6, but I'm factoring in the evergreens he's talking about putting in as some of the trees.
oh, okay, well, I
Because
didn't,
he was talking about putting evergreens in, and you said you want some
okay.
further in from the property
If
line.
you wanna put some white pines or a mix of white pines and oaks and maples for the 6,
Well, I'm just saying you might not need to go 6, because he's putting in others along here. So you're, by having him put 6 in the property line, now say he's putting 10 here, now you're having him put 16 in to make up for 6.
is that what you're thinking? You wanna put in 10 pines?
However many it takes to fill, I got the feeling he planned on putting in a row of evergreens right there, correct?
Okay.
And then you wanted some further in from the property
Then I
line.
need something,
Right,
something more.
but-
So if you wanna put some,
But, I'm sorry?
no, go ahead, no, go ahead.
I'm just saying, if you only took out 6 and he's putting in the row of evergreens, you just put a few further in the property to
Yeah.
fill in, but you don't necessarily need 6, because he's already
He's
planning on
already
putting in the
got
row
right,
of
right,
evergreens.
Okay, well then let me ask then, I would like to have some of these evergreens moved, not right on this line. I'd like to, what I think we want is where these trees came down in here is to replace them. So if you wanna do a mix of 6 trees in this sort of like 30-foot area, I don't care whether they're pines or oaks or maples, I don't care. Okay, as long as they're trees.
Minimum of 6. You could do more.
Yeah, minimum of 6, you wanna put more, fine, you know, it's your property. But for our purposes, I think we wanna talk about
Replacing what was taken.
replacing what was taken down. And again, if
Right,
it's-
no,
right?
I'm not disagreeing with that at
Yeah.
all.
Okay, all right, I think we're saying the same thing,
Okay.
all right?
Just viewing it differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, next step is, right where your leaching field is, put some dots where you wanna plant at a minimum of
Okay.
6 trees.
Okay.
And then tell us what you want it to be, X of maples, X of oaks, X of
Okay.
pines or spruce or whatever. Get the application in, and we will progress to the next step, which is an application and new business, okay?
Yeah, because I'm ready to plant that.
Okay.
Yeah, I already asked the guy for this ones right here. and
Yeah.
I mean, if you say no, then I'm just gonna cancel them.
Yeah, well, tell us, like I said, when you get the number, whether it's whatever, X of pine and Y of oak or whatever, tell us how much that, you know, what the cost is going to be, just of the material, not to plant it, just the material, okay? Because that's part of the process, there's gonna be a bond, you're gonna give us, the town, that money, we're gonna make sure that those plants survive 3 years from now, 80% of the 6 survive, 5, you'll get your money back,
Okay.
okay?
But you will charge me for only the six trees?
Yeah.
The 6 trees?
Yeah, just the 6.
Okay.
Yeah, just the 6.
All
Yeah,
right.
if you wanna put in more, you're right.
Okay.
That's,
It's on you.
we would, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. No, that's a good catch. So that's.
We're
a
not
good
gonna
catch.
hit you for it.
Yeah, that's a good catch, so.
Alrighty.
Alrighty?
Thank you so much.
All
Have a
right,
good
thank
day.
you.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't have an application, so we don't need to continue that. So that one's done and that one's done. 3 Cross Road.
You have to make a motion that you're jumping to 7, or no?
I think as long as we're in enforcement, we're okay with that.
I'm totally
right?
okay with that.
Okay, so name and address to Cassandra?
Yeah, Paul Scalzo, SCALZO, 3 Crossroads.
3 Crossroad.
Okay,
All right.
so I've got my survey and my wetlands. Or I have Jim. I need flag. And I have a map.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, is this the one we got, July 3rd?
Oh, you have this?
Well, let's see. Let's see if what I have is what you got. Yep,
Yeah, okay, so this
Okay.
one's to scale.
all right,
Okay, so I haven't met with Jim yet on it,
okay.
but I have him on board to do it. But, yeah, so we haven't done an application yet, but that's our
Right.
next step, I think. Is to go back to the work that I've done, which is pretty much a lot of clearing
Right,
of old debris. There was a tractor, a boat, a car, a tractor graveyard.
okay,
What's a tractor graveyard?
There was 3 zero-turn motors that they just abandoned. There was, thousands of tons of scrap. Yeah, so Fran Bacon was my neighbor, and I walked it with him when I
I know
originally
Fran.
bought it. I know,
Is he
yeah.
still alive?
No, he died.
oh gosh,
He died last year, actually.
Oh, sorry.
oh gosh.
Yeah, his daughter bought the property. It's not Claire's on it. Yeah, so I walked the property with Fran, and he showed me where all the crap was,
Okay,
or where it used to be. But, yeah. It's all been, we've had the property flagged, all the wetlands, so we know where it is.
all
And
right,
then-
so the upland review area, this one is, this map is to scale, so 1 inch to
1
50.
inch,
So let's
50.
just run a little line.
Yep.
All right,
So what is it, 75?
yeah,
Yeah, so that's
so
1.5.
1.5 inches. So there's a line here, and then there's something that goes this way,
Yeah, you get that
and then it
jagger.
goes this way, and then it goes,
That's the big one. This is
Yeah.
right here. So
then it goes up to here. So it's something like this-ish?
Yep.
Okay, so this one was just taking out junk, right?
Yeah, there was a Massey Ferguson here.
Yeah,
There's a boat, Corvette. Oh, another car here. There was 3 motors over here.
Y'all buried?
2 of them were buried, one was above.
Are you worried about contamination?
Well, that's why I'm getting it out of
so I
there.
had to get them out of there.
Well, how do you know there's no contamination now?
I could check it, but
I'm just curious.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just taking everything away.
Yeah, man, I understand, yeah.
There's, there was an old barn here, there's a shed still here, there's a chicken coop here.
So what's, are you trying to?
So I'm trying to continue the removal.
Right.
I wanna keep cleaning up.
Okay,
So I wanna get a permit for what I've done and a permit to continue, that's what Jim and I talked about.
right,
But we haven't met on this yet,
okay. So,
cause this was done a week and a half ago.
okay,
I didn't
so,
have a survey.
okay, all right, so, so I think, yes, in general, obviously, we're gonna give you the opportunity to take that stuff out of there.
There's stuff in the wetlands too that I wanna walk in and grab, but I think I can do that by hand.
Okay,
There's beer cans, there's a toilet over here.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're not prepared, huh?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
You're not far to go.
I'm a one-man
Lord.
show, but
Okay.
I'm trying to, make
And
it
the
nice.
further you go in, the more you'll find.
Well, I've walked.
Yeah.
But, I haven't actually done, like, picking up all the cans and everything.
Okay,
It's
well,
like,
we can, you don't need to tell us how many exactly cans and how many plumbing fixtures, you want to take out. I think what we're gonna need as a part of the application is, you wanna take this out, what you and Jim decide you wanna put back in here, whether it's landscaping, or whether it's grass, or whether it's whatever, put that in there. We're gonna wanna try and keep grass away from, you heard this conversation, from like, as best you can, like 30 feet away from these wetlands, so that the grass doesn't find its way in there. You can do things with some trees, so those are some general things. And then on the application, just note that you're gonna be hand removing garbage, from the wetlands, and you expect all of this work to be done within, 6 months or a year or something like that, because that will set a time frame that Laura can then come out and say good to go.
Okay. And then also I did wanna redo the driveway at some point,
Okay,
cause that's crumbling.
okay.
I don't know, do I need a permit for
I
that?
don't, if you're just
no,
replacing, if you're just
Sure.
replacing.
Not from us.
Not from us, if you're just replacing what's there,
Are you changing the location at all?
No, no.
no,
Okay.
no, you don't need a, you don't need an app.
There's not a lot of room,
No,
yeah,
there isn't.
Yeah.
yeah. No, it wasn't.
Where's your well on that property?
It's back here.
Okay.
Yeah, Fran did it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you were talking about wells earlier.
Yeah, I knew Fran.
Yeah, yeah. And
Fran and John.
What?
I knew Fran, John, and his dad.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Francis Senior, and then DeGrazia came in.
Guys, you're right.
Yeah.
I know all those guys.
Yeah, no, just to replace it if it's the same width, if it's the same location,
Yeah,
no, not necessary
it
for,
really is just a lot of cleaning,
yeah,
and a lot of crap.
oh, gosh.
This was next door to Fran, this wasn't
This
Fran's.
was Peck's.
Excuse me?
Peck, Jack
Okay.
Peck's.
I didn't know,
So
The
there's no-
Aikens lived there prior.
So you're trying to get a house in here, right?
No, there is a house right here.
Right, oh, so it's not, the house is in here?
I didn't, put it on the plan, I
Okay.
didn't know if we needed it,
No,
yeah, no, there's a house here,
all right.
yeah.
And then anything that you can do, like I said, to try and keep grass from growing into the wetlands, you know, anything you wanna, anything you would consider, even in here, while you're doing all this, would be appreciated.
This is a Eversource line,
Ah,
runs
okay.
right through here,
good, so you can't do anything there.
yeah.
All right, well then that ends that.
Yeah, cause they've actually called me to come in and try to pull stuff away from the lines,
Oh,
and I
okay,
just say, you know, I want electricity,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, all right, well then that ends that conversation. But here, like I said, let's talk about, because as we're doing that, let's talk about trying, you know, something that will keep the grass from encroaching into the
Yeah.
wetlands. You got a stone fence, that's a bonus.
Well, there's a stone wall that
Yeah.
really just delineated it.
Okay,
So even talking to Jim, like I didn't go into the wetlands, but I'm
Right.
definitely in the upland review.
Yeah.
because my upland review runs all over, but the stone wall is a big delineator.
that's right, so again, if there's anything you can do, if there's trees in here, right?
Oh, yeah. there's
Yeah,
trees
so
all over.
let's understand what trees are gonna stay.
I'm
yeah.
not touching.
That's what I'm saying,
trees,
let's
yeah.
just understand which, you know, do me a favor and just, there's a tree here and there's about here, it doesn't have to be
Okay.
to scale. You know, there's 3 or 4 trees, they're gonna stay, we're taking this out, this is the limit of the grass,
Okay.
we should be good.
Okay,
right.
and then okay, so I have to fill out an application.
You
That's
do
it.
have to fill out an application,
Okay.
yep, an application for the remediation for the violation.
Okay,
This will be one of the supporting documents about what it is that you plan to do. We want to remove all the garbage from here. We're gonna hand take it out of the wetlands. You're going, you know, the plan will show what trees are there and are going to stay. Again, take a look at if there's grass growing towards the wetlands. Let's see if we can make some changes or plant some more trees or a bush. I don't know. That can all be written down, you know, as, here as construction sequence, right, or remediation. And since you're not taking trees out, you're probably not gonna be putting new ones in that we have to worry about with a bond. So that
whatever
is not,
Jim is,
well, Jim will,
maybe not.
Jim will tell us, but since it doesn't look like you took any trees down,
It seems like mostly brush and
Yeah.
shrub
It
and
was
clearing
mostly
out
brush.
of
I took out
invasives and.
2 trees back here,
yeah, but that's way out of the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and they were overhanging the house.
well, and those need to
There's
come down
safety
right
issue.
away, right?
Yeah, that was bad,
Yeah, so again, from our standpoint, since you didn't take out any big trees or noteworthy bushes,
in the wetlands area.
we're not gonna need to set a
Right.
bond,
Okay,
okay?
alright.
All right, does that,
Do you need a copy of this?
I have this,
Okay,
I have this,
don't need it to scale?
no.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna use this,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have another.
yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get another version of this,
Alright, so.
all right?
I'll meet with Jim and then I'll come back to the next one.
Okay,
Okay, thanks so much.
sounds great, thank you. Okay. Let's take care of this gentleman here.
That is
Um,
58 Old Grays Bridge Road.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to go to 5C, 58 Old Grays Bridge Road. So, sir, we'll get your name and address to Cassandra, please.
Russell Lorenzo, 36 London Road, Roxbury.
A modification or remediation.
Okay.
Just gotta go back into the file.
All right, let's just take a quick look at your application here. GCB outdoor self-implementing cleanup and disposal plan. So moved. Ah! Ah!
You know the site.
I do,
Yes.
now I just put two and two together, so. But you were not the gentleman we were dealing with.
No, my name is Russell Lorenzo. I'm a licensed environmental professional with
Okay.
Arcadis.
Okay,
We're a global environmental consulting firm. I'm out of Sandy Hook office.
okay,
We took this project over because the former contractor wasn't following the law and that he didn't have EPA approval to do any of the work.
oh Lord,
You need federal approval. You also need state approval
okay,
from DEEP. You're supposed to submit the plan and put it out for public notice.
okay,
They didn't do that.
okay,
And then they just started digging and digging and digging. And they didn't know what they were doing. So when the owner got into about $1 million of digging, because it all goes down to Alabama, the special disposal firm, he started questioning, when we're gonna be done here. And then they got into a court case.
yeah, I've
which
heard
is
it was
pending.
awful.
So they hired Arcadis. We're a reputable firm that does a lot of we do a lot of stuff, but I do a lot of stuff locally
Yeah,
out of Sandy Hook. I don't travel like a lot of people in my company. And we came up with a plan. It was approved by EPA about a week ago.
okay, well, great,
DEEP approved it. We do have indoor work to do, but that's not a wetland issue.
right,
So just to give you an overview, this is where you enter,
yep,
right?
yep,
The Still River's here.
yep,
Here's your wetlands, here's the retaining wall that they had approval to build a retaining wall. They had approval to build a
we're gonna recreate,
detention basin,
right,
right?
a detention basin and recreate some wetlands once they got an understanding of where the crappy soil was.
Right, but they dug a retention basin right in the middle of contamination, so now it's all over the place. But
Okay,
the wetlands have been studied, and the only impacts, the green is between 1 and 10 ppm. That is above residential, which is 1.
say, I'm not familiar with what you just said, is that a level of contamination?
Yeah,
Okay,
1 and 10 ppm or PCBs, that's an industrial criteria.
okay,
Residential criteria is 1. Those are all the blue is below 1. So you can see the wetlands are pretty much just where the outfall used to be. But we will be submitting a plan to EPA and DEEP, because DEEP has to set a specific standard for sediments, to remediate this and to remediate this area. This is not part of the plan that's been approved by EPA.
mm-hmm,
The plan that's been approved by EPA is just outdoor around the building. And the only area that is within 100 feet, the building's about 115 feet from the wetlands, is this area here, right up against the retaining wall,
yeah,
okay? And the red is where we're digging out. Why we're digging out, it's over 10.
okay,
So if it's over 10, it's gotta go. But the whole area is gonna be paved,
what area is paved?
the whole area. It's not paved now. This is the parking lot, but they haven't, when I got to the site, okay,
I don't wanna hear about paved between the building and the Still River. What we approved was an access, behind this building. there was I gotta refresh my memory, but there was not an access behind this building, and that's what
truck,
he.
for the trailers.
Yeah, for the truck or trailers,
Yeah.
and the fire marshal wanted it, as I understand. And that's what got us involved in his project.
Right.
So when you start talking about paving back here, he doesn't have approval from us to do that.
Well, this is from their A2 survey showing the whole area is gonna be paved. That was approved by planning. All this is gonna be paved. Whether there's PCBs here or not, that's what the plan is, as I understand.
Okay, well, this has got me kind of interested, because it was just supposed to be an access way, so that looks wider than what we planned, but we'll take a look at that, okay?
Yeah,
We don't need to
but-
solve that
but
here
see,
today.
there's still rivers over here.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I understand that.
It's not up against,
I understand that,
Yeah.
but that's not what we approved. So what we approved was probably, I don't remember, but it was more in the neighborhood of 14 or 16 feet. This looks rather wide. And so I don't
it
think,
is 100 feet.
that's not approved by the Wetlands Commission.
Okay.
So don't let your client get paving that, because that's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem for EPA and DEP because it's the only way to remediate it.
Is to pave it?
Yeah, you have to cap it. You can't remove all the contamination, it's too widespread. It's in the wetlands, it's over here, it's everywhere.
Well, this is in the,
The only impact, the river's been studied, there's no impact to the river. The sediments, the water. The wetlands water is not impacted, groundwater is not impacted, believe it or not. What happened here was, as they built additions, they dumped PCBs out the back door.
right.
So underneath the building, right at 4 to 6 feet consistently, there's heavy contamination. I'm gonna show you. Here's in the building. Okay, so the red is like over 100. The blue is clean, the green is below 10, so.
You don't have to take us through what's in the building.
Yeah.
What we're interested in is
Sorry.
100 feet, anything that's 100 feet from that still river. Of which, again, this is taking us into a whole different conversation here. Just to give you the background, like I said, the applicant told us that the fire marshal wanted an access way around the side of this building, along the back of this building, he wanted access, and the fire marshal wanted access in case there was a fire. Because there is wetlands back there, and I don't remember the numbers, but it was like multiple thousands of feet of wetlands they were gonna fill for that. There was going to be wetlands created over here, and
Well,
this
they
is,
created a detention basin.
well, that was
Yeah.
a detention basin, and there's a plan for wetlands and plants and, a whole process. And this, there wasn't going, once he pulled it out, our understanding was that what he thought was going to happen is just be filled with dirt. So now you're telling me the EPA is telling you you've gotta pave 100
cap it.
feet to cap it? Is that asphalt?
Yep, and it's thicker than just plain asphalt, it's 6 feet, 6 inches thick. It's a cap.
We don't have any choice in that.
I don't know if we don't have a choice. I don't know
No,
that.
it's parallel, but if you guys deny it, this property will go bankrupt. There's nothing that could be done.
And we got contamination there.
If there's no feasible and prudent alternative, there's not gonna be an impact to the wetlands, the stormwater system will be handled properly, as approved. But what you're saying is, we don't wanna pave, so you want PCBs open to the atmosphere.
No, what I'm saying is that you're coming to me and now suddenly it's, I'm looking at 100 feet of pavement, which is taking me a
New to
little,
us.
very new to me.
Right, so I have to go back and look at why he has a plan that he says is approved, that shows all this was gonna be paved before we even got involved.
Well, this happened, oh my gosh, 5 years ago,
Well,
6
I've been
years
on this
ago?
since 1993, it never ends.
Well, I'm sure.
Never ends.
I'm just saying, from us, this was a long time ago. So, and I know he's been through a lot of whatever. In any case, we'll go take a look at what we approved, because we've got that, okay?
Right.
And you've got something, what do you have
So all
from
I'm
the?
asking for, I'm not asking to pave, all I'm asking for is, I don't need approval for digging out these areas, they're over 100 feet, but
Right.
you should know.
Right.
We'll be digging
Yeah.
anywhere where you see red.
Yeah.
And the only area that is in the buffer zone is right up against the retaining wall, just these areas in red. It's not a lot of digging. We just go, we dig it out, we take samples every 5 feet.
This is this, right?
Yes, right.
That,
That's a blow up.
a blow up,
this.
this is that is here.
Right, it's also here, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that was gonna happen. We knew we had to dig in these
Well-
wetland areas. I think it's more of a floodplain than it is
What they
wetlands, but
did
that's-
is, when they got into trouble, they had
Uh-huh.
piles of PCB contaminated soil in the building.
Yeah.
And they took it and they graded it here.
Yeah,
EPA made us go out and do a whole bunch of work, and we proved that although most of it's below 10, there's areas that are over 10, they need to be removed. So all we're asking for, we're digging them out to 4 feet, we take samples to verify that we got all the PCBs, we backfill, and we're done.
And if you don't get all the
You
PCBs?
gotta come back and keep digging till you
Okay,
get below 10.
dig 'em out, okay.
Yeah.
well, that is,
But-
that's fine. We were under, in the plan that is approved, that activity was approved, to go digging and checking and digging and checking, so that's all approved.
Right, but we're a different company, so we didn't wanna go off of.
Yeah, no, I
on the-
appreciate- no, I
plus
appreciate that.
there's court stuff going on, we don't wanna be involved. We'd rather get our own permits,
Okay,
modify existing permits, which is what we're here.
okay.
But I'll be before you again.
Yeah, it
because,
sounds like it.
We have to remediate the wetlands, we have to remediate that whole area where the retention pond is. We'll be remediating the building, we have to dig dirt out from underneath the building, but that's not your concern.
Okay, so today, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but today, all you're asking for is to modify the existing plan to do this.
Yes.
That's all you're asking
That's
for.
it.
Does this have like a name on it, or can we give it a
How do we
name?
reference it?
How do we, what do we call this? Spot A, Area B,
Oh, we-
Area X,
We call that graded area.
graded area? Graded, can I give it like a letter or something, like graded area? Because I'm gonna write here, like graded area.
Yeah, that's what it's called in the plan.
Graded area,
So let me see the plan, I'll show you.
so, because eventually I'm gonna approve something like this, I'm gonna put a stamp on it, and it's gonna say, this is what you're doing.
Yeah, it's called graded area. A backfill from excavated material from building floor.
And you explained it, but just please, because you've given me a lot of information. The red area, what makes the difference between FAA2 and FAA3? Why is that highlighted?
It's a different concentration, so the
Okay.
green is below 10, so it could stay there.
Okay, so, all right, so that's the proposed excavation area. So you're just gonna be digging around FAA2 and FAA3 and FAA05 and FAA04? You're not digging this whole thing, you're just digging that and that and that.
We're digging anything over 10. Sampling to verify we got it all, then backfilling it.
All right, well then I think for our approval, we're gonna give you, so you don't have to come back,
Right,
the ability to dig anything in that square.
right.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be too worried about your red proposed excavation area
Right.
legend, okay?
Right.
So that way you
That whole
can,
area is graded now, you know that, right?
yeah,
It's all graded. It's
well, I haven't
ready-
been back there.
It's ready for pavement, but,
Okay, well, I'm not approving the pavement yet.
no, I'm not asking for pavement.
100 feet of
I
pavement.
wouldn't be
Oh my
doing the
God.
pavement. All I'm gonna be is out there with a ruler, making sure it's as thick as EPA wants it.
Okay, so graded area. So do me a favor, 'cause I think, does he wanna get going on this? This is a modification, so we're gonna approve this tonight, I think.
And boy,
Right.
does he wanna get going.
I think he does. I'm
Yes.
sure he's as unhappy
He's
as
doing-
we
He's
are.
doing a lot of work inside to try to correct the zoning violations. We finally got him to a point where the site is well understood for contamination.
Okay.
Luckily, groundwater's not an issue, and surface water's not an issue.
Okay, so the purpose and description of proposed activity is remediation of all of PBC containing soils in graded area.
Right. But as you know, you could
See-
regulate outside the buffer zone, so we didn't wanna.
Okay, but, yes, and I believe you, you're gonna be back, I believe you, but today, just so we're all clear, all you're asking for today is in that box.
That's it.
All right. So do you wanna make him update the application to say, to update this to say it's not remediation of PBC containing soils, period. It's remediation of PBC containing soils in graded area C plan.
Can we just, maybe we should just hand read it?
I can do that,
The
as long as you're
application.
satisfied.
I'm fine with that.
C plan,
Remediation, I'm fine with that.
for purple highlighted area. Okay, so that's that. Drop your initials in there, please. That means, and that's all we're saying, that's all you're getting here, because that's all you're asking for.
That's it.
Okay.
I need to get the approval for the other stuff.
I believe you, and I can't wait to have that conversation.
Well, Deep is gonna be heavily involved, so.
Yeah, well, I remember
I mean,
this
they're-
poor
they're-
guy.
Their wetlands group is already involved. So, there's a lot of experts looking at this.
Approval for graded area only. Okay?
Yeah, but you know we're digging outside the buffer, right?
I don't know what you're doing outside here now.
Yeah, I'm showing you.
Oh, yeah, but you're on,
Dig it
that's out of the
here,
wetlands.
dig it
Yeah,
there.
yeah, but
Right.
for me, that's out of the regulated
Right,
area.
The only reason why I'm here is
Okay.
because this is the one within 100 feet.
Right, right. You
But
can,
some commissions could say to me, I think this should be regulated, okay, I don't care.
I can't, it can be, because as you know, the state of Connecticut gives us some variability.
To the top of the
At the top
watershed.
of a mountain,
To
right.
the top of the watershed. So I
And
know.
I guess all I would ask, now that you made me think about it, is where's the silt fence on this?
Is this
Well,
what?
it's a retaining wall, it's 3 feet high.
So this is 3 feet high over the,
No, it's 3 feet under the retaining wall. The retaining wall is above. They grade it.
so, okay,
So
so,
you have a retaining wall that's gonna block anything from getting in that wetland.
but this retaining wall is what, only, what's 50 feet long? Is that right?
Yeah, but we're not digging, we're just digging right in front of it where they graded it.
Will you have a chance to just go out there and see if it
I've
needs
actually
a,
walked the site with.
does you think it
yeah.
needs a, does it need more silt fence? Okay,
The way the retaining wall is really parallels the entire property
Okay.
line going down.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be putting a silt fence in front of a,
This is why I'm asking.
you know, sheeted wall.
Yeah, we
This
went
is-
out, we looked at the different, because
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
we had a
not,
site visit, there's some stuff going on in this
Okay.
property.
I tried to get a sectional ruling. She
You
wouldn't
can
go
ask,
for it.
yeah, no, you can ask, there's no harm in asking.
I asked.
You can ask. You definitely can ask. Okay, so approval for the graded area only. So Laura, what's going on out here in this, what's supposed to be the detention basin, it's supposed to be all kinds of planting, is it just a hole right now?
Right now,
It's a
Yeah.
whole overgrown with,
Yeah. with the, yeah, it's just an
natural
overgrown
vegetation.
invasive mess out there.
Okay, because eventually, that's where the created wetlands was going to be. I don't know what we're gonna do. This is gonna keep me up
Well,
all night if we
the,
gotta, just give me,
created
just give me
wetlands,
1 second
yeah.
to finish, and then you can talk. What we're gonna do if they gotta pave over this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, yeah. So now you go.
The wetland mitigation plan will have to change. 'cause
Yeah.
I could guarantee you that soils all along this wetland are gonna have to be removed.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that he knew that too.
I
He knew
think-
that was gonna be in
I
there.
think we're okay, I mean, we got the square here, but the
Yeah.
land here is, I think this is all okay, and this is all okay. But what they did is they took waste and they dumped it out in the woods.
Sure, of course they did.
Right.
Yep.
We have done studies all out here, everything out here is clean.
All right, well, that's a bonus. Okay. I can't wait to see that. I knew this was gonna be a problem. I remember the conversation with this poor fellow. We had another one, by the way. It didn't go very well, and I'm listening, I'm going, oh no. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, on that point, anything else, Bob, Tom? All right, then I'll do the motion here. I'll make a motion to approve the modification for W-24-39, 58 Old Grays Bridge Road, for an application that allow them to dig in an area that is outlined on a map by Arcadis with a date. I don't see a date.
Is there data in the front? It's in the written part down there.
Oh, with a date of City of Manchester Diverse Group,
Sorry, I didn't bring my glasses tonight.
Carol,
plotted
I know what date these things.
1/31/23
Yeah,
by Brian Small?
that's the guy.
Small Brian.
That's our draft.
By Small Brian.
My small Brian, but he's a big boy. I'll tell you.
All right, so the date,
Yes.
with a date of 1/31/23.
That's right.
Okay.
That's how
And
long it took EPA to approve it.
And note that the graded area is highlighted in a purple highlighting, it's highlighted with a purple Sharpie. We don't need anything else, I don't think.
I second it.
Bob seconds that. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right.
Pretty easy,
Thank
huh?
you for the conversation
Pretty easy.
there.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, oh, yeah. You say that to everybody.
No, he actually doesn't.
At least I can tell you're
Not
listening.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
All
Nice
right,
to meet you. Have a good
tell
night.
your client we wish him well, because this is a big job.
It is,
Yeah, and we continue to wish him well,
yeah.
okay?
Best interest to everybody.
It is.
Thank you.
See you later, Laura. Thanks for.
All right, sir, what are you here for?
4 Hidden Brooks. Sorry, I'm a little late.
For Hidden Brook?
B6,
It's under the enforcement.
B6.
Oh, okay, so make a motion then to go to agenda item B6, 4 Hidden Brook Drive. So, sir, why don't you give your name to Cassandra, and I'm gonna go get the file.
You wanna put this back in the other file? It's from Laurel Hill.
Okay, yeah,
I assume you need to keep that.
I guess. What am I getting here? 4 Hidden Brook. Okay. So, what's new?
New is I stopped today to actually speak to Laura.
Okay,
They told me she's in vacation.
okay. Good for her.
Good for her.
Wow, that's interesting, 'cause I'm back.
That was the building inspector, so I hope
That's okay.
he knew, but.
You go on the information
So
you
I-
were provided.
I'm just saying, when I saw her here, I
You
said,
say, "Whoa."
I hope she didn't pay for this vacation. That's all I'm asking.
I was gonna say, I'm still on vacation, excuse me then, but
So, were you really or not?
I was on vacation, today's my first day back.
Oh, okay.
So-
Sorry for that. I stopped today, like I said, and I was gonna apply for the application that we spoke that day. to
Okay.
Remove those trees
Yes,
and then come in here. So we haven't obviously done or touched anything since you saw it. We did walk, I don't know if you reported to that one out.
I haven't seen them since, so
Oh, you haven't
this is the
seen them?
first meeting since our site inspection.
You know,
You can go over it if you like, I will interject if, this is the house with the, we'll call it quote unquote frog pond that was filled in, that borders the two.
Oh,
property
right.
lines. I did go for a walk, of the site. It's an interesting situation. Sounds like the drainage from the house was broken. the
Okay.
drainage from the house, the pipes leading out from the house broke and actually created a wetland.
Well, that's
The
pretty
frog.
cool.
So that created a wetland for a multitude of years, from what it seems like. When he fixed the drainage, the wetlands got drained. So now there's no longer this, what was, and which was showing up on our GIS map as a frog pond that was there for a multitude of years. So I'm not quite sure how the commission wants to handle the remediation of a wetland that was self-created or created because of faulty drainage, but actually was truly a habitable wetland for a period of time.
Can I
Yeah,
add to it
Sure.
as well?
yep.
So it was created, somebody, looks like they had a tree or something, and this is in the grass area.
Okay.
Back of their yard, and was crushed, I guess, when they cut that tree many years back. And the water was backing in to the house. So the homeowners started realizing that, okay, we had a broken pipe. Every time it rained, the flood came up and the water backed into the house and they got floods.
Yuck.
So they did interior drains, put pumps, but they were pumping outside and coming right back in again to it.
Huh.
So mold, make the story short, I think that's what pushed them away to selling the house and getting out of it.
Oh, jeez.
So we found out basically, oh, it's a crushed pipe, and my brother didn't think twice. Fixed the pipe and then everything disappears. I mean, you can see area that was little flooded, that was not touched at all, but that's all it was.
Huh.
So with a lot of mold and everything else, thanks God, since he fixed it now for 7, 8 months or whatever it has been, you know, it's no more water back in the house. So this is completely in that grass area that shows it all on the maps. There was no wetlands whatsoever, but obviously created.
But created by this damage and was there for a period of time. I'm not quite sure how long that pond was there. I was tracing it back through the maps, this pond, for lack of a better term to call it. I wouldn't understand what was going on until I went out there and had a conversation, really walked the property.
Yeah.
To figure out how it was backing up in the house.
Yeah.
The pipe was crushed, but now it does make a little bit more sense.
Okay, all right, well, it makes complete sense now, right?
Yes.
All right,
So technically, there was no wetlands there.
You're looking at me like,
well, there was, but there
Well,
shouldn't have
yes,
been.
it was accidental
It was
wetlands, it sounds
accidental,
like.
yeah, it was accidental, good, right. Well, we certainly can't
very
have,
hazardous to the property.
yeah, well, I mean, if it's a man-made wetlands and we can't, it'd been nice to continue it, but we can't have mold in the house.
We can't have mold in the house.
Yeah, it's
Cannot have
definitely
mold
frowned
in the
upon.
house, yeah. All right, well, I'm of the opinion that the violation should go away.
I tend to agree.
Yeah. So, is it remove? Clear, we clear a violation, right?
We can clear the violation,
We do have some trees.
I was gonna
that
say,
they
but
were
there are
dead.
some trees that are gonna need to come down, that are
They're
within
the
the
dead
regulated
ones.
area.
All right, well, then that's just an application he's gotta put in.
So that would
Yeah,
just be an
I'll put
application, so I
Okay.
would, yeah, clear the violation, have them submit the application for the trees.
For the trees.
With the understanding of where the wetlands actually are.
So, just to, while I have everybody, and this is fresh on everybody's mind, where the wetlands are, here's his home, there's a little wetland on the,
I thought there was a little area right back over here
back
somewhere.
over here, and maybe it touches here and then here-ish?
I thought there was another,
Is there another one?
I don't
Do you
see
have
it
the map
on
tonight,
there.
or
I'm looking at
But
the
I remember
GIS
there
map.
being a
did they
little
email?
circular area.
That may
Maybe
have been,
just-
was that the frog pond?
Yeah.
The
Okay,
little
which is
circular
gone.
area was the frog pond.
Is it,
Which is.
which,
Gone.
Pond was right here.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I thought there was something.
That's,
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ah, there it is.
Doesn't it have fun?
Ah,
And then
Where
we
should-
have some clearing that's gonna be within the actual within 75 feet of the wetlands over here.
okay.
So that will be the application.
All right, well, again, try and do yourself a favor, and don't think about clearing all the trees right next
no,
to
no, we're
this
not,
wetlands, so do
if
yourself
he
a
saw
favor.
it, we really don't,
It's-
they're just,
Yeah.
there's some trees that literally, there's nothing on them.
There are some dead trees in the area.
Dead trees.
Those
are the ones that they're here.
I thought you were gonna mark them on a plan.
I was
Okay.
gonna, and come over
Okay.
there today,
Okay,
but.
All right.
So literally what we wanna cut, and those trees, my brother, we told him after we walked that he should take those dead trees out.
Okay,
He wants to take this one here to the house,
All right.
this is leaning, and this one right over here,
okay,
that's the other one that was
Is
leaning
leaning.
towards the house. And then we have a couple of here, but those are up.
Outside
way
the
too far.
regulated
So
area.
those are the only two, that
Okay.
I don't think they're within 75 feet at all. But we have some dead trees over here. I think there are I think there were 2 or 3,
I
that's all.
wanna say there was a total of around 6 or 7
I don't
trees that
think
we
we wanna
pointed
go
out.
that much in.
Okay, that's
Because
fine. Less is-
they're dead, but they're too far in, they're here somewhere.
okay.
And just like,
You might just
I'll
want
ask
less than that, okay.
I'll ask
So
him
mark
if
where
that's the
they are,
case.
and then it would be a tree removal,
Correct.
wetlands, it would probably be an agent application, approval application, because it wouldn't be in the wetlands itself. It would be
Right.
Within the regulated area.
Okay, well, let's think about this too. I mean, even a dead tree, right,
Could stay.
can stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, a dead tree can stay, cause there's,
no danger to
whatever
the
is
house.
there, it's no danger to the house, or his driveway, or his children, or
Well,
neighbors.
again, that's the only thing that I thought one of them was, that's why.
Well, I
Well-
thought the one closer to the house was, so until they're marked.
We don't
we're
know,
going off
but just
the
in
memory.
conceptually, we're,
Like I said, he doesn't wanna touch those either.
yeah.
There's no
what-
reason.
Right, I'm just saying conceptually, think about, again, like a 30-foot from this wetland, which is right on your
Mhm.
property line, or even here, let's try and keep what Mother Nature is trying to keep there.
Absolutely.
If it's dead, that still has value.
Habitat.
Yeah, that still has value.
Woodpeckers, everything.
Yeah, that still has value. I mean, everything, so just conceptually, okay, conceptually.
Gotcha.
All right, well then, all right, anything else for us? All right, well, again, we appreciate you working with us to understand this. It was too bad we lost the little frog pond. That's too bad, but we can't have mold in the house.
I told you last time, I was gonna make it easier on you. but you didn't believe me.
He did mention the pipe last time.
Well, I guess I didn't explain it well enough, so anyway, sorry for
Well,
that.
it was,
Thank you very much, guys.
It's a
You're
different
welcome.
one, that was the most unique one I've gotten so far this year.
yeah, that one is
Disappearing
kinda
pond.
unique.
Disappeared bond. All right, well, thanks again,
Ok-
guys.
okay.
Have a good
You're
day.
welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
Have a
all
good
right,
night.
well, then I'll make a motion then to clear the violation at 4 Hidden Brook Drive for the reasons that an accurate description of the situation was provided,
Second.
and no violation exists. Okay,
Second it.
second, so Bob seconds that, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, so there it's done. Okay, now, let's see, let's go back then, there's no one else in the audience. Let's go back to the top. We'll go back to 3A, 731 Federal Road Inspections. We're still waiting for the final, everything seems to be in fairly good shape.
So the one I received today, I just briefly looked it over, the report before this, it looked like everything was in good shape and said that inspections didn't need to go forward, or maybe didn't have to go forward. Now the one I received just a little bit before the meeting today, I didn't really get a chance to go out there, is saying that she's suggesting new plantings be made and that the site is not, there's been some runoff of the hill. So I wanted to actually.
That's that big, huge pile of dirt.
Not the huge pile of dirt, actually just runoff between the road and where there's no vegetation yet.
Oh, that's right, because they cleared that all and tried to put, oh,
So
okay.
I would suggest that
We continue.
we continue that one.
Okay,
At
good.
least until I get a chance to kind of go out there and touch base.
okay. Yeah, I was worried about that. I mean, the good news is the building is between,
Yes.
although not all together.
It doesn't seem to be running down to affect the Still River. It seems like it's mostly affecting just the parking area.
Yeah.
And it's not getting into the catch basins yet because they're still blocked off.
Okay.
So, but I do want to kind of review what she said and have a moment to kind of take a site inspection. She sent it like 4 something this afternoon.
Okay.
Didn't get a chance to go out there.
All right, well, that's fine. It's been a challenging site. So I'm fine with that. Oh my, the next is the school. So still no permanent certificate of occupancy till we
Still
get that
nothing.
one report.
Correct.
Did,
I believe I sent them an email,
I was gonna,
if I remember correctly, let
Okay.
me just double check. The last meeting.
children in the school, I mean, they may never even come for certificate.
Yeah, was she owns it?
They have a temporary one.
I did, I sent an email on June 11th.
Thank you for that.
And I do not have a response, so I will follow up.
Thank you for that. I wonder when their temporary expires.
As long as they're still building,
What's that?
as long as they're still moving forward,
Oh,
I'll check them.
okay, so that's
No
that.
problem.
That we don't need. This goes here. What the heck is this, Bob? Okay. I can go
I
there.
also got another one today.
All right, so yeah, any,
That site seems to be a little bit more stable.
Okay.
They're moving along. I do have a site inspection on Wednesday of this week, so it's
Okay.
gonna be my first time really going out on the property in a while. I know they've been giving a lot of reports, particularly following up from the rain.
yep,
Doesn't look like, I know a lot of the vegetation has been planted. I believe they said about 75% of the plantings are in at the moment.
yep,
So I kinda wanted to put some eyes on that.
yeah, you know,
This is the one where it always has the basin that has,
this is the one I think, Bob, Tom, you were not here. I think we had a little bit of a miss on. I ripped it in half, but that detention basin,
This is
We-
upside down, this is not right.
something's messed up here. This is the bottom. Oh, here it is. This is this detention basin on that. It looks like we missed, or at least I did, maybe you didn't, but I know I missed. Because the plan said either landscaping or riprap. And if I had picked that out, I never would have given them a choice. Cause I don't know if riprap is the right answer here. This is this is the roadside. I think it's not riprap over here, I think this is grass, but this was a miss on my part.
Why do you think grass would be better? I think riprap would be better. It has a tendency to filter everything out.
You know what, this is gonna stay wet all the time, I mean, it's gonna be wet all the time, that particular basin,
it could be, maybe it was because it was in the floodplain. I would have to.
I think it's gonna be wet most of the time, I really do, cause it sets right next to a wetland, there's a wetland like right next to it. And you don't get any animal habitat, and there's no shade here. This is gonna get grungy in here. You know, if there had been, if we had add either some trees or some bushes or something, we could have had a wetland habitat improvement here, or some trees, so, you know, I would have probably questioned this, so that was a miss, so I like to bring that to everybody's attention. Cause it's just nothing, you know, and I said, I think that's gonna be wet.
It's supposed to be the compensatory storage basin too.
Yeah, but I think
so,
it's gonna be wet
mean,
most of the time.
With the flood, the site being in the floodplain,
Right.
it's,
Right.
you're right, it's.
There's a high probability of it.
I think there's a high probability, and even with the riprap on the side, there's no opportunity for any wetland animal habitat on that side, and no shade.
Well, we can't do anything about it.
No, I can't, that's why I'm just bringing it up, as I think it was a miss. Certainly, we never should have allowed them to do or A or B. We should have said, pick one. So we gave them a choice, so I missed
Right,
that. Laura said it was in very tiny type, but it's not giving me much consolation. All right, so that's 23 Grays Bridge. 58, we're working on that one. Enforcement, 49, did we do them all? Oh, did we do 11A? We did not,
We
right?
did not do 11A, that was the one I wanted to look at, actually, I'm sorry. Too many crossroads.
Well, this is what happens, when we do the right thing, we're just trying to accommodate everybody. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock.
June 11th, I sent an email to Michael Cruz, the attorney.
Oh, right.
Following up testing and flagging for wetlands the week. He actually appeared at the previous meeting. And again, they said that they have their surveyor coming out 1 week, but I haven't had a single update since then, even though.
Since when was the last
this
update?
June 11th.
That was our last meeting. Because there's a little note here that says soil report is to be received from the contractor by the July 8th meeting?
So at the June 10th meeting.
Yeah, that's what we said.
That's what, when,
We
Attorney
asked him,
Cruz
right?
came in, we spoke with Attorney Cruz, we had
Okay.
a conversation. He indicated that he was gonna get a wetland soil scientist that was gonna come in and do the testing and the flagging the next week. I just sent that email June 11th as a follow-up to say confirming from our meeting.
Yeah.
He said that they're coming out next week and he will update me accordingly on the progress, and I haven't heard anything.
So maybe an email, please call me as soon as possible on this matter.
Because
Okay.
that's not what I like to hear. He is
No.
not being very communicative.
No, they've been
I'm
very good
chasing
up
them.
until, they've been very good about this, but they've been saying we're working on it, so they've been saying they've been working on it.
That's the second or third time I've had to reach out to them to follow up with them to
Ah.
contact me.
Okay, well,
So
you
they're
can,
not that great.
okay, well, you can bring to their attention, 3B1. Okay?
Mhm.
All right, so that takes care of, so thank you for that follow-up. 499 we did, Two Cross Road, Laurel Hill, Hidden Brook we did, Cross Road. Old business, we did 4A, new business, we did 81 Pocono. What's that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that same thing.
What?
So 499 we handled through the actual new application. Oh, so. I wasn't sure if we were. So,
I didn't have it marked either.
that is that based off of the new application, they said that the violation will stand until the plantings are in, which is, I believe, is the November 15th date, so you kind of handled it through the other one.
Did I? Did we? Yeah, we talked about it in the enforcement, right? I remember talking about it.
Through the new application, right?
Yeah.
Through new business, old business, excuse me.
But I think.
Oh, that's why, yeah,
So
we
we-
talked about it under old business.
Yeah.
So we approved the
I didn't catch it
application.
in enforcement,
With-
so,
This is the one with the low detention.
Yeah, and the trees
And
and,
the trees
and the
then
stipulations, right.
yes.
included that the violation will stand until, so it will
Okay.
stay on there until the plantings are in.
All right. I guess, I don't know, how do we get to that one? All right, so then I have that's not, so are you good, Cassandra? You should have notes on that someplace. Oh, good. Hum. Okay, so I got new business, 5B, 23 Grays Bridge Road.
I expected someone to be here for this.
All right, well, let's take a look at this, 23 Grays Bridge. Grays Bridge Road.
It's the night of self-storage.
So I want 23 Grays Bridge.
23 Grays Bridge. It should be under new business, no?
Should be.
It's not? Oh. This is for two above ground, 2,000 above ground.
Well, somehow I have gotten 81 Pocono Road, an engineering report, 2 copies of it separate.
That's. Not supposed to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It should,
Well, I mean, I don't know, putting on the top.
it might have moved. It moved.
There we go. What's this?
Time to get up and get popcorn?
Yeah, here it is. They look like extra copies. This is 81.
So 81, so
Goes
we
into
finished.
new business.
Yes.
setting out, they look like they're extras.
They might be extras,
Ah.
because, so that might be what happened on that one.
Okay.
No, that's 58 Old Place Bridge Road, where's 23? Right here.
All right, what do we have here? You see propane tank descriptions.
There are two, they are located, within the,
So the application says, deliver and set 2 1,000-gallon above-ground propane tanks on concrete pad with anchors and straps, run 40 feet 3/4 plastic from tanks to pre-approved stub out on the building. Leak, I don't know what that word is, leak in the goose.
Safety,
Safety, thank you.
leaf and safety check,
Leak and
pressure
safety
test.
pressure test.
so this was a previous approved application. When they were going to install their propane tanks, they realized that they did not include their propane tanks in the original site. The propane tanks are located within the floodplain, which is why they're proposing the tie downs. Since it's in the floodplain, it needed modification through the Wetlands Commission and could be administered.
Are these it? Purple
And
tanks? I don't know what all
looks
this
like it
heavy
could be. Is
stuff
there a
is.
description anywhere in there?
Not that I can see yet, but it is definitely highlighted. And it does look like a propane tank, and that looks like a stub.
2,000, 1,000 gallon tanks.
How do we get involved with this?
in
It's
the
within the
upland-
upland review.
Yeah,
It's actually within the floodplain, so.
Oh,
yeah, well, and upland review area.
And upland review area, but wetlands.
See, this is where it ended up all riprap. Well, so you were talking about there's some safety straps they gotta install
So
here,
since
or?
it's located in the floodplain, it
Uh-huh.
has to be anchored, it has to meet certain specifications.
Oh, so
to
here's,
have any kind of structuring improvement within the floodway. So, in the floodplain, it's
They
easy.
don't want it to float away.
I
Exactly.
would
Right.
guess not.
So
I
they
would
can-
guess not.
I would guess
I
not
would
too.
guess not.
That would be a bad day.
That would be an oh-oh. All right, so the only thing that's missing from the application is that there's straps. So we can just make a note on this. The stipulation is that these, what are these straps? Are they just called straps?
I think that he has in the
Anchors?
Anchor
application
straps.
details said they're anchored.
Anchor straps.
With anchors and straps. Tie the tanks together and secure them with preset anchors.
So they'll have to meet building code for the actual qualifications on the tie.
So I don't have to really worry about
You don't
that
have
then.
to worry about that. It will have to be anchored. It actually has to go to the zoning commission for a floodplain modification too, so.
Approval for location of 2 propane Tanks.
1,000 gallons each.
highlighted in purple, right?
mm-hmm.
Highlighted in purple. Purple. Okay. You wanna make a motion?
You see your cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the location of 2 1,000-gallon propane tanks highlighted in purple on the grading and drainage plan for 23 to 41 Grace Bridge Road done by CCA LLC on the plan dated March 23rd, 2022.
Last revision
I was
date.
gonna say last revision date, November 2nd, 2023.
I'll second that.
Bob seconds that. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, so that's that. And that goes there, and this goes there. All right, so that's that, and we did 58 Old Grays Bridge, discussion vice chairman. I said, Rob's not here. Rob is an alternate, so his opinion counts, of course, but he cannot be an officer. So, Bob, what we talked about at the last meeting, you know, with Michael gone, we need to replace the vice chairman. We don't have to do it momentarily, but we need to do it soon. So, one of you could be that. You can get a promotion right away.
Go ahead.
Right, you ready to be the vice chairman?
I'm honestly not sure if I'm ready.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
We'll get through it. Sure, we'll get through it.
Yeah. You know, Dave Frankel is our other regular, and we can wait. I mean, if you wanna wait for Rob to come back, that's fine too. I don't think we have to do it today,
It's as soon as
but we can wait for Rob to come back. As I said,
I mean, I'll do it if nobody wants, I'll do it.
All right. Well, that's what we asked everybody to do, to think about it. And I said, you were here, you weren't here, Rob is not
Right,
available.
right,
We don't
right,
have to
yeah.
decide today.
Yeah.
So we can just not decide.
we can keep it on the agenda.
We can keep it on the agenda.
All right.
Going forward.
Right, I'll give it
Okay.
some thought, keep it on the
Give it
agenda,
some thought.
another 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, so that is that. So we'll keep vice chairman on the agenda. Correspondence. Kakiwick, 50th anniversary celebration. How great is that? Okay, review of the previous minutes. I did a quick, I read them. I did not see any changes. You're not, you weren't here. Well, you would see.
They look fairly accurate to me.
All right, you wanna make a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for the June 10th, 2024 Inland Wetlands meeting.
Second it.
All right, I know you're gonna abstain.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Any opposed? One abstention. Motion carries 2-0 to 1. Okay, so, informal discussion. I have a conflict for next Monday's, or next meetings, our next meeting. I will not be here.
Okay,
So I'm gonna just leave that
okay.
for now. So I will not be here.
So we'll just make sure we can establish a quorum and that Amy will send out the agenda and of course we would appreciate everyone to respond as soon as possible.
Right, you know, or again, the conversation came up, I said, you know, I don't know what's pending here.
Right now, I think you handled a lot except for some enforcement, which might not be ready to go forward by the next 2 weeks.
I mean, we could cancel the meeting too. That was the conversation we had, you know, the first week of June, Bob. I said there wasn't anything pending. I wasn't gonna be here for that second meeting in June. So, I mean, we could cancel it.
You could. You don't have to cancel it tonight though, too. So whatever works best.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I'd have to keep track of who's gonna be here, who's not gonna be here before we canceled it. Or we could wait.
I was gonna say, it's entirely up to you, but we could certainly touch base tomorrow and see if Rob will be back, which would
I
be
don't know
good.
what, I don't know what his schedule is. I don't even know where he is, and I don't care.
He's on
And
vacation.
Well, I'm sure he's on vacation, but I don't, you know, I don't wanna publicly say that.
So, just to make sure that nobody has any additional conflicts. If for some reason we could not secure a quorum, which we always try to get one way or another, some kind of confirmation,
Okay.
we'll cancel the meeting regardless.
All right, well, I'll leave that with the two of you, cause I said I won't be here. If you guys are prepared,
So when
to-
the agenda goes out, we're gonna ask that you respond, saying if you're.
Respond
available
either
or
way.
not, to respond either way, just that way the office will know. If we find out we can't secure a quorum,
okay,
I will make sure we send out a cancellation notice that goes to everybody,
okay,
including the applicants,
Okay.
just to make sure that they know.
all right,
Okay.
all
Or
right.
we, yeah,
If you guys are satisfied with that
Sure.
plan?
Yep.
Okay,
it's okay.
all right, that is that. Other than that, any other informal discussion?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.